Today we're going to do some testing on a XFX 6850. This is going to be a complete review basically on the video card. All 6850s are pretty much generally the same. Brands are just brands. Usually they put different memory chips on, but overall the difference is only going to be a few FPS if any. So this 6850 will probably be the same as the 6850 you buy, even if it is an XFX. But let's go ahead and get some testing going on it, and I'll go ahead and record it. Okay, the test we'll be running today is Furmark. This is a graphics and overclocking tool. You can find it at ozone3d.net. You can also find it at other places like Major Geeks, I believe. But you can Google it. It's just F-U-R-M-A-R-K, Furmark, and you'll find it. Right now, I have it on stability test at 1920 by 1080. That's a very high resolution. If you're buying a video card in this day and age, you're probably going to be using a flat panel monitor, so that's probably something you'd want, is a higher resolution and 8x sampling. I ran this earlier and it seemed pretty smooth, but I'm going to go ahead and show you now. As you can see, it's just a big ball of fur. That's basically how it renders, and it shows you that the graphics card temperature right now is at 66°. It's jumping up. They usually run about 78. They can get pretty hot. I've had graphics cards run up in 90s, and that's just the way they run. So ATI video cards generally use less power, and they don't get as hot. But right now, you can see the FPS, and it's staying right around 30, which is good. It jumps up to 40. The lowest I've seen it get so far on this test is 26 right there. I guess I hit 25, so I've seen it go lower now. But it doesn't really get much lower than that. It jumps back up, as you can see. And it looks pretty smooth on this. I'm going to run Heaven benchmark here in a second, and I'll probably run some other tests. But as you can see, that's definitely playable, and that's very high resolution. 1920 by 1080 for a video card that's about $170 or so. You're not going to get much better than that. NVIDIA has a few options like the the GT560 I believe it is, not the TI version, but the regular 560. I believe that's the one competing with this video card right now. As you can see, the fan speed has picked up quite a bit. I didn't want to go all around, but you can kind of hear it. It gets a little louder. It's not very loud though. I mean, considering this is a very hard test on it, it's been running for about 2 minutes now. That's about as loud as it's got so far. It has one power connection there. The fan's down there. I kind of have it blocked off. It'd probably run colder if my sound card wasn't right there, but it's kind of blocking it off, and as you can see, there's really not a whole lot of space for it to get air, but it's running pretty good right now. It's 84 Celsius. I just wanted to bring it back here for a farewell. It's still running up to a 84C. We're going to go ahead and run some different tests on it. This test has been running for about 2 minutes and 15 seconds now. The max temperature it's hit is 85. Like I said, the video cards can get very hot without going down. They're not like a processor, because processors can't generally get very hot before they crash. Video cards are not like that at all. Video cards can generally get pretty warm without crashing. As you can see, this thing's just running along. The fan speed picks up. Let's go see what the fan speed's at right now while it's running still. Okay, while we have this thing still running, I went ahead and opened up the ATI thing. I unlocked it up there, as you can see, so I could control fan speed. Right now I'm not controlling it. The activity's at 99%, and the fan speed is at 87%. That's not too bad because it's pretty high. You're never going to get it much over that. It's pretty warm in my room, plus I'm blocking the fan so it's not spinning to its full potential. But right now everything's unclocked. It's not overclocked. I have enabled manual fan control on, but I'm not using it right now. But right now the fan speed is at 90, and the graphics test is still going. Let's see if I can get to that. And still heading along at about 4 minutes now, so I'll go ahead and start having benchmark and see what we have. And one last time before I hop off here, I went ahead and took out the sound card so it had more fan speed, and it's dropping now. It dropped down, the noise is way quieter. I've been running this test for 13 minutes now. We're down to 71 Celsius and 88 max. 88 max is when the sound card was in. The sound card's now out. And as you can see, there's a big drop, and it's still going down quite a bit. The fan speed has lowered pretty far down. Let me see where it's at now. The fan speed is now at 71%. That's pretty good, considering it was up towards 93. Most people are probably not going to have something blocking their fan like a sound card, but if you do, you can kind of expect where to see it to run, and if you don't, this is where it's probably going to run. Okay, this is Heaven benchmark. As you can see, we're using DirectX 11. We have the 3D vision off. We have high, extreme, 16 times filtering, and 8 times filtering. Full screen is enabled. 1920 by 1080, here we go. Okay, it just started, so we're going to go ahead and see what it does. It usually starts off a little laggy on all video cards, but usually it smoothens out towards them a little bit up here. This isn't looking too bad right now. The FPS are pretty good, and the graphics look good. It's not 100% smooth, but I'm also running it at a very high filtering and graphics settings, so I mean, this isn't too bad. This is definitely playable here. I went ahead and switched it to more realistic settings. It's high now, the tessellation's normal. NVIDIA is known for having better tessellation at the moment. I went 4 times and 4 times on the filtering, and we're going to go ahead and start it up again. Okay, this is really good right now. We're going to go ahead and start it up and see what we have, and it looks pretty smooth right now. It's showing up there at about 18 FPS, but this isn't too bad. This actually looks halfway playable. Okay, now we have it up again. We're up here about 23 FPS, as you can see, 21, it's around there, it just keeps jumping around. But this is actually playable and smooth. This is very hard on a graphics card to run filtering at all, so if you don't run filtering, I'm sure you'd be getting plenty of more FPS, but filtering is nice to run, I'm not going to lie. I do love using it myself, and if you haven't tried it, you might want to try it, because if your video card's powerful enough, it can make your graphics look a lot better than they already are. There's really not a whole lot more to this. It's just running around 22 FPS. Hasn't really switched much. It's pretty smooth though, so I'm going to go ahead and run Windows Test and see what we get. Okay, Windows Test went ahead and scored it, and right now we are at a 7.7 on gaming graphics and aero graphics. 6.2 is my hard drive down there, but as you can see, 3D graphics and desktop performance for Windows Aero are 7.7, which is pretty good. And to prove that those are the scores, I'm going to go ahead and open this up so you guys can see what I have in here. This is, there it is, the HD 6800 series. That's what we're running it at, and that's what we're using, DirectX 10. I'm not sure why it says DirectX 10, because we clearly have DirectX 11 capabilities on this card, but I'm guessing it's because Windows uses DirectX 10 graphics card test when it does it. That's my guess. But overall, I really do like this video card. It's very good for the price. I do recommend checking out some NVIDIA graphics cards because they're also very powerful. But for the ATI HD series, if you're an ATI fan, this graphics card is very capable of gaming. It runs everything fine. I've already played a few games on it. I played Call of Duty Black Ops, everything runs fine. But as you can see, the graphics card score, even on Windows, is 7.7, which is very good for a graphics card that's pretty mid-range. Overall, the graphics card is pretty quiet if you don't have anything blocking it, like a sound card like I had. But the graphics card is pretty quiet when you don't have anything blocking it. So I do recommend this video card. If you have any other questions, feel free to post on YouTube, and I'll try to get back with you. Thanks for viewing, and be sure to subscribe.